Alright, we're back. We're back. I've got OBS open. And now we begin. Like I said, I said that I would post the link. Did not say I would make it visible to anybody other than myself. So, I'm following the rules. I am. I'm just gonna get rid of the 9 minutes that I did before this. Are you hearing the clicking? I'm hearing a clicking, and I'm not quite sure where it's from. Oh well, whatever. Doesn't matter. It might be from fucking me talking. My brain. Alright. Let me just make sure that everything is okay. Alright, I'm live. We're in it to win it. Open up Stream Manager. Alright. Oh, I forgot to. Whoopsie. There we go. Now how's that? Show me my stream. Show me my stream. What the fuck is clicking? Is it when I move? Am I moving? I don't fucking know. Am I just making this up? I seriously might just be making this up. Oh, it's not letting me look at my stream manager. Fucking whatever, man. I'm live. I know I am. Okay. Jesus Christ, okay. Sorry, I had to fix my fucking stream management on my phone. Wouldn't let me look at the shit. Okay, so what I am doing today is I am going to participate in at least one illustration convention put on by my university. It's a college, not a university. What's the difference between a college and a university? Doesn't it? I don't know. They're the same thing to me. I guess university is, a collection of colleges, right? That's what they call it. The college of something at the university of whatever. They're all college, They're all college. They're all university. Who gives a fuck? All right. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So the illustration department, as in the students within the illustration department, it's pretty sick, host 2 conventions during the year. There's Inkfest, and then there's C3 Expo. And I'm going to do at least one of them, but in order to do at least one of them, I need to have things to table with, right? So one of the things that I want to do is I bought the school store. They sell like these little bags of pins, right? And the intent is that you buy them, and then they're just like plain pins, like the backings and stuff is all separate. And then at the makerspace, they've got printmaking, like pin making pin presses. So they sell these little bags of blank pins so that you can buy them, make your own designs, and then sell the pins either at the store or something like that. But the intent, they specifically sell these so that you can sell pins with them. So that's what I'm going to do. But I got to come up with some pin designs. And I did a few earlier. So mostly what I'm doing right now is I'm just thinking of other things that I could do within my themes. You know the themes I like. So I had some thoughts about hourglasses. Because I was thinking about, I made a new connection earlier about Kronos, Daddy Titan, Big Daddy, and I only came across that because I was looking up some symbolism things, and I saw that hourglass is associated with Kronos as a symbol, and along with the sort of the name of Father Time, and then sort of I don't know how I never made that connection before, that the prefix chrono as a kind of, it sort of means time, doesn't it? I feel like I'm making that up in some ways, but I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure that there's that in Greek or something, that chrono is a prefix that denotes so that something has time involved in it. But for my purposes, I think that Kronos is an excellent figure to sort of bring into my wheelhouse here, because, man, if you want to talk about daddy issues, let's talk about fucking Kronos for a second here, man. Like, dude, everyone talks about how, like, Zeus as a mythological figure he's got his issues, right? He's got issues. Nobody ever talks about how, like, dude, his dad ate all of his siblings. That's fucked up. Am I remembering that right? I feel like there's some element of that that's wrong, but isn't that what happened? Or was Zeus like the only one that survived, and then every god after that came later? I don't remember if Zeus was able to save anyone else that Kronos ate, but I know that it was like, he hid, so he lived, and then he killed his father, right? That was the deal. I want to say that's true, but I never had a proper Greek mythology phase. I only read like 2 of the Percy Jackson books, and I only started reading the 3rd because someone told me that Talia was hot and cool, and then I got bored. So I have no idea if Talia is hot or cool. She seemed cool. I couldn't tell you if she was hot because it's a book. And I was like 11. But, that's what I was told at the time. I am nothing if not predictable. Okay, stop it. I need to stop. I'm just gonna leave that as is. Right, I'm just futzing. I'm just messing. This isn't like with the Pinocchio piece that I was doing the last couple streams, where the concept is fully solidified and I just have to finish the rendering and the execution. This is stage 1. This is stage -5. There is nothing here, period. I kind of like this. I like the symbol of the hourglass but the design itself obviously needs some work. I gotta just go. And I have to remember that, you know, these designs can't be too detailed, because the pins that I bought are tiny. They are 1 inch pins, which I don't know if you probably can't. I don't know if how well you can visualize distances and sizes. I can't for shit. But 1 inch for a pin for a circle 1 inch is not very much. Most pins are 1.5, 1.25, 1.3, something like that, somewhere in that ballpark. I want to say 1.5 is sort of standard pin diameter. So yeah, I have little tiny ones. So any design that I go with can't be too intricate. It can't have too many things in it because the pin simply will not accommodate such a thing. So I have to be mindful of that. I'm just gonna think small and simple. Can't be having fucking elevated concepts here. Just little things. Just get the point across is really what I need to do. More than anything is just make it legible, make it readable, make it understandable. Ooh, is this the first glimpse you're getting of my awful handwriting? I think it might be. Yeah, look at that shit. Look at that shit. You've never seen worse handwriting, baby. Ooh. Let's try that. Okay. Let's do this properly. This is why I don't hand letter, because it would be 100% illegible. I had my first classes of the new year today. I was looking at my notes. I was like, oh fuck, I cannot read a word of that. Even 10 minutes later, it's really an issue. Like, it's atrocious how bad my handwriting is. Okay. I had something I was going with before. I had to make that note to myself instead. So let's go with maybe, because I think for this one I want to just leave the implication of the hourglass, not finish it out necessarily. Does that read, do you think? Well, whatever, it doesn't matter at this point. This is stage 0. This is nothing. And then we'll go. Oh, this is exactly what I was talking about when I said a thing intricate. Dude, if I make this figure way small, then there's a chance that this could work, but this is not what I meant by, well, I'm gonna finish the design anyway because it's cool, but it's also been done a million times, which, I mean, nothing I'm doing is unique. I've never been unique. No one's ever, well, people see, the thing is, people have been unique. Lots of people in the world have been unique and come up with new ideas, new and interesting things to say. I'm just not one of them, and I've come to terms with that. Part of the new thing I'm doing. Take a shot for new thing that Ghost is doing. But yeah, the creative people, true creative people in the world surely would have a lot more interesting ideas about everything that I do, could come up with new things to say about whatever it is that I'm doing. But not me. I just do what I want. And what I want is often pretty generic and pretty simple. And like, sure, it's well executed sometimes, but there's nothing. This is what I mean when I say I oscillate wildly between like severe narcissism and pretentiousness and like truly believing that I am the worst artist who's ever lived. Like, and I think most people do. I think most artists do, especially, have moments where they're like, oh, nobody's ever been smarter or cooler or better than me. And then, you know, the next day, literally it's been 2 days since my last stream, and I was so happy with myself. Literally the next day we'll be like, oh, wait a minute, actually, no, you know what? No one has ever been dumber. No one has ever been worse at an artistic endeavor. No one's ever just beefed it as hard as I have in this moment. And that's not a fun thing. That's not a fun thing to experience. That whiplash is not enjoyable. I don't like it. But it's like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do about it? Be medicated? Probably. Yeah, I was having a thought today listening to one of my professors talk about his ADHD, about how he's self-medicated with caffeine for most of his life, and then just recently got medicated, and the ways that he's describing himself, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I lived in high school. I lived on 3 monsters a day. No, 2, but no, that's not better actually, because I have a coffee in the morning and then the 2 monsters to get through the day. Like, that was in high school. I don't do that anymore, but I do still have my daily coffee, and sometimes I do a monster with like dinner or lunch, because caffeine doesn't affect me in the way where it like keeps me up forever. And I think that's because I'm, attention deficit or whatever. I think that's a stupid way to say it. I think calling it an attention deficiency is like a kind of a stupid way to refer to it. I don't care that like the acronym or whatever is considered, whatever's the most scientifically accurate. I don't think it is. I think calling it attention deficient, what is it? Attention deficient, attention something, hyperactive disorder, something like that. Isn't that what it is? Or is that just what I've been told that it is? I don't actually know what it stands for now that I think about it. But anyway, the acronym gives the impression of like, the loser kid in middle school who wouldn't shut the fuck up, right? Had to be the loudest person in the room at all times, had to be the funny guy. That that guy, right? That's the image that ADHD, the acronym, invokes in my mind, which is A, not accurate, and B, not helpful to the world taking it seriously. You know what I mean? Because, like, it is a, it's a brain chemical imbalance. It's a brain function. Your brain functions different physically, but the name and the acronym does nothing to indicate that that's the case. It's basically just the acronym, the acronym is calling you the loser kid in middle school who wouldn't shut the fuck up, right? Like, you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? So for the longest time, I was like, well, I can't have ADHD because I was not the loser kid in middle school who wouldn't shut the fuck up. I was a loser in middle school, but I also had a lot of friends, and I also am very good at shutting the fuck up. Like, that's one thing about me, is that I do this, like, I talk a lot when I'm by myself, but when I'm in a group of people, baby, I shut the fuck up. Nobody shuts the fuck up like I do. So I was always like, well, that can't be me because I'm so good at shutting the fuck up. Turns out, that's not what it means. That's not what ADHD means. So, anyway, long story short, I probably have ADHD, and I'm self-medicating with caffeine and have been for 10 years or whatever at this point. And I just didn't know that because nobody ever properly explained to me what ADHD is. Also, I think that a lot of the anxiety that comes with ADHD is really overplayed, you know? Like, well, here's the thing. I think the anxiety that comes with ADHD is completely different than some of the other kinds of anxieties. Like, again, I know jack shit about any of this. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just talking. You know, I'm just yapping as usual. But, like, my sister gets really severe anxiety. And, like, she, you know, has to have a 12-step program laid out for everything that she does because she just feels better knowing all the possible outcomes of a situation, right? And it's like and she recognizes that it's detrimental, and she's getting, you know, therapy and medication, all that kind of stuff. But I think there's a lesser side to ADHD anxiety, and that is if you're the kind of person who's really good at shutting the fuck up, then I don't think I think here's the thing. This is a secret that I will tell the ghosts in my chat, and only the ghosts in my chat. I think I have been constantly anxious for most of my life. I think I have been, for real. But the problem is that I've just said to myself, hey, I don't like that feeling. And I just stop. Like, I just stopped paying attention to that and kept kind of doing my thing, whatever. But as soon as I tune into it, to my emotions kind of at all, there's this hum underneath everything of, oh, I'm afraid kind of at all times, and it's really exhausting. So I just prefer not to acknowledge that at all. And I don't think that's an element that gets kind of ignored, because with the ADHD, the anxiety kind of, people say that comes with it. But the ways that it can arrive are so wildly, you know. What was I fucking doing? Hourglass. I think this is something, but this is too simple, I think. Because if I'm not going to have this sort of idea where there's, you know, something inside the hourglass, and I think I'm going to say no on that. I'm going to say no to this one. Then what I need to do is I need the hourglass itself to be a little more interesting to look at. But probably there's only so many ways you can make an hourglass interesting to look at, right? Like, we can go full, like, fucking game timer ass thing where it's just, you know, this shit. No, I'm not doing that. Because I think we can have sort of the general idea of like this, and then we can put sort of some accoutrement. And then maybe we have text. Question mark. Let's try that. Let's do a real simple. Honestly, let's try that. Let's try the real simple. Oop, fan. There's the fan. It's hot in Chicago today. It is hot. So, I'm not turning the fan off tonight. The other night I did, or the other day, the other morning. When I streamed in the morning, the other day, I turned the fan off because it was still, it was only supposed to be like 60 or something that day. And, it was in the morning, obviously, so it hadn't gotten hot yet. So, fan off. But it is evening and it has been hot all day, so fan. Maybe we'll put, a little bit of whatever in there. And then maybe, what do we think? Like a big ol' fucking thing? Because I feel like, hourglass designs are kind of, kitsch, played out, whatever you want to call it. I never got an Unasana shirt, and I'm still mad about it. I didn't have the foresight. I wanted one. I wanted an Unasana shirt so bad. Or, something, a pin, something, anything, but I was in high school at the time. No. So, I realized that the dates and times that I'm saying don't make any goddamn sense. And that's because I don't care. I don't like times and dates. Can't pay attention to them. Again, unmedicated ADHD. I can't remember shit. Especially dates and times. None of it makes any sense to me. I don't know how the fuck. I had therapy in high school, middle school and high school. Don't know how the fuck that man didn't notice that I have something going on, brain chemistry wise. Like there's shenanigans up here, and nobody's ever picked up on it, and that seems crazy to me. But also I think that's part of the whatever comes with the territory of just being so good at shutting the fuck up. I've never given anyone any reason to suspect that something was off, right? But except, obviously, for my therapist, because I talked all the time about, like, oh, I can't remember anything, and, like, whatever, I talked about a bunch of things that are, I think, like, common and, like, kind of textbook in ADHD, and this man never once said, hey, have you thought about how maybe you might have ADHD? Or something. No, never. Just sort of left to fend for myself, try to be like, well, something's wrong, and I don't know what it is. So I'm just sort of going to vent how I'm feeling, and hopefully it will be your job to figure that out. Whatever. Whatever. Am I a little irritated that it's taken this long? Yeah. I'm in my 20s. But, like, whatever. My professor, he's way out of his 20s, so I guess I shouldn't feel that bad. What was it? What do we think? This is something. I think there's something to that. We're gonna come back to it. Again, this is purely brainstorming. Let's just throw down some other shapes here. What if we? Ooh, I've always kind of like those like teardrop butt plug ass ones. I think that's a little too butt pluggy. I think I'll tone it down a little bit. We'll go egg. We'll make it. Oh, that's okay. No. Scrap that. We're not doing that. Oh no. Okay. Where was I at? Let's just do some big old circles. I haven't done that yet. Big old circles. And then, ooh, I wonder if... It might be kind of interesting to have it just be free-floating, no indication that it's either on the ground or that it's ever intended to sit comfortably on the ground. That's kind of an interesting design. Don't know what it means. Don't know what that means yet. But we'll figure it out if we go with that. A couple of these I'm going to, iterate further upon, right? But at this point, this is purely a brainstorming exercise, because I got to come up with something. And I was doing a little bit of word association earlier when I came up with that Chronos thing. I was doing a little bit of word association, and hourglass is one of my words. So I figure, all right, let's see what we can do. Oof, sorry. See what we can do with that. So that's what this is. We're just seeing what we can do with that. This, and then I guess with all of these, we wanna leave the indication of the passage of time. Because that's what's important about hourglasses. None of these would be recognizable as hourglasses without the sand, right? Oh, that's an interesting idea. I'll think about that. What about... Oh, I bet we could do... This would be, I think, a little more intricate than I'm permitted at this time, due to the nature of what this will be for, right? But some of these can have second life as a sticker if I really like them. So it's not a horrible, unforgivable crime to think big, you know? I like this shape, this hexagon shape. We're gonna go with that for a minute. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe this one we can have, mostly at the top, just sort of a little tiny little pile down there at the bottom. It's just been flipped. Whatever. Ooh, I do. Okay, that we're gonna star that one because I really like that. Okay. This is my. Alright, no, turn those back on. This is the annoying thing about the way that I do brainstorming, is that after I pick something that I like, I then have to go fuck around and, reorganize everything. At least I remembered to put them in separate layers. At least this time I remembered to put them in separate layers from the start. Because sometimes I don't. Sometimes I forget. And I throw them all on one layer to start with, and then I have to go through and separate them all into their own layers afterwards, which is fucking annoying. So, props to me for remembering. As we've discussed, I often don't. So. Alrighty. Yeah, so. I'm gonna close all these other ones up. Turn them off, and then we can take this and move it over here as our model, and then we can iterate. So what do we think? I like the hexagon. I think this is a solid initial design. And I don't really want to incorporate any other elements. I think I just want to have the design itself be solid. Unless I wanted to... Oh, right, I was thinking about text. What if I... Okay. Let's do this. So, first of all, I think we're actually going to move this back out. Bring it back in as sort of a primary example, because I think this is pretty solid on its own. And then we'll see. Again, I don't know how well it would read, so we'll do this and pull out a circle. Let's see. That's mostly centered, I think. Let's see, make that a little smaller. And then what do we think about that? What do we think about that as a pin design? I think that's pretty funny. All right, yeah, I'm in for that. Okay, so this is a possibility. The the daddy issues pin is a possibility. Okay. You know, I joke, in terms of daddy issues, mine are not severe, but they are present. And they're different from other people's, I believe. It's not, you know, the thing with my particular brand of daddy issues is that my actual father, like biologically, not the problem. He's fine. He's doing his best. Now me, however, I've got some things going on with me, right? And it's sort of, due to the nature of what it is, happens to bleed over to my dad. So, you know, it's a little tongue in cheek. It's a little poking fun at myself, right? But, you know, a lot of people who just, when they say daddy issues, they mean I didn't have a dad, etc., right? But I think I want there to be, you know, representation for those of us with a little more obscure forms of daddy issues, right? Enough about trans masks with mommy issues, more about trans masks with daddy issues. It's basically what I'm saying. Yeah, I think that's pretty funny. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. That's a solid possibility one. Alright, so this round one. What are we gonna do with this round one? I'm not sure yet. We could do... Okay, we'll put it up here so that we have space to iterate upon that. So we could do what we were talking about earlier with the frame. Those are usually 3, right? There's usually 3 of them. But I think with it we'd have to alter the angle a little bit in order for that to be viable, or have the glass be really, you know, well done, and have it, you know, show through the glass, which I don't want to do, because again, these pins are fucking tiny. All right, I don't think you get exactly how small these pins are. So I have to be smart. I have to be creative about how I do this, which that's hard for me, but I'm gonna do it. It fucking sucks, all right? It sucks to be so into, you know, the arts and artistic pursuits and all of this stuff that I love, and to just not be that creative as a person. Like, it's hard. It sucks. It makes me feel bad all the time. I feel bad at all times. This is what I mean when I say that I'm afraid at all times, right? It's this anxiety that, like, I've never done anything worthwhile in my life, and I never will. So there's no reason to try. That's the kind of feeling that I'm, you know, suppressing on a daily basis at all times. But now that I've started thinking about it, I can actually, you know, start to sort of resolve that in myself, which is, I don't know if you figured out that that's the new thing I've been working on, but that's the new thing I've been working on. That's the main thing, is trying to work out that, you know, deep existential fear that sort of has defined my life up to this point. So that's that. Oh, this is the one that I posted the link publicly for. Ooh, good thing there's no one here, just the ghosts in my chat. I can tell you guys whatever I want. Okay. So, for this circle, I don't think I like the circle. No matter how I try to play with it, see this, it doesn't look like a butt plug, but it does look like anal beads. So, I think we're going to scrap the round one. No more of that. What do we got next? This one. This one, I think there's legs to this one for sure. But it still, like, absolutely reads as Unisonus to me. Still mad I never got a shirt, but it's my own fault. They said in the promos that when the channel gets deleted, then the merch store will go down. And what did I do? Nothing. I was at whatever. I didn't have the funds at the time. All right, leave me alone. And that's not the sort of thing I'm gonna ask my mom for. You know, I'm not gonna go to my mom and be like, "Hey, so there's these two guys on YouTube. Can you lend me $30?" Not gonna happen. So, no Nasana shirt for me. So I think I'd have to, this one, I think I'll do some actual iterating on this one. Like, ooh, okay. That's, yeah. So see, the fun part about the iterating is that you can sort of change the composition a little bit. Great professor Chris Arnold had us do our first assignment for his illustration studio course that I took last year. First assignment was to make 100 thumbnail sketches for the first project, which, you know, really isn't that much, but he was like, yeah, so the strategy for thumbnailing is to come up with one idea and then look at it from all angles, right? So if you had, you know, the idea for a face, then you could create an additional, I don't know, 10 thumbnails from, you know, zooming in on the eyes, zooming in on the nose, zooming in on the mouth, zooming in on the nose and mouth, zooming in on the eyes and nose, creating two separate panels and zooming in on the eyes and mouth separately, turning the head to the left, turning the head to the right, making it really small in the upper left corner. You know, all these things you can do with one idea to make it 10 to 15 different ideas. So that's the mindset that I have to be in here when I'm thinking about this idea. So I think with this one, we can have it so there's this, because one of the thing with these that have the poles on them, actually with all hourglasses, so maybe I will have to add, you know, whoops, don't do that. So yeah, I think with the daddy issues design, I think I will have to add some sort of cap to the hourglass, because that's what it is. It keeps the sand in. The glass tube is open on both ends so that the sand can get in, and then the shell or whatever is put around it with the caps that keep the sand inside. So that's what this will be. And then it can be sort of spilling out of that, right? And then maybe most of it is still over here. And then this one, it's still got the, still got the thing. And that would sort of justify having it at an angle, right? Because the bottom half will be up higher than the top half, so the top half can be kind of resting on the cap, like so. So we'll just make that line, make it nice. I know we're still in the brainstorming phase, but I like to make it nice. I like to make it clear what I'm talking about and what I'm doing. I want you to know that I have never lived in Canada. I'm not from Canada. I have been to Canada once years ago. I don't know why I have, the ghost of a Canadian accent sometimes, but I do. I think it's from my grandparents. My grandparents live in North Idaho, which is incredibly close to Canada. Like, they are closer to Canada than they are to Idaho, and they're in Idaho. So I think that the North Idaho accent has a lot of Canadian elements to it, even though I don't think that's necessarily on purpose, and I don't think that's just because there's any natural cause to it. I think that there just probably happened to be a lot of people from North Idaho who just kept going north at some point. They got to Idaho and they got to North Idaho and just kept going up. So those accents probably are fairly similar just in that way. But I don't know. I also just watch a lot of Canadian YouTubers, so that could be it. But that shouldn't be enough to affect my accent, should it? I don't know. And then, so I guess when the sand spills out, then it would sort of spill out like that. And then it would have all these little things that it does. Sort of a crunchy pile, and then it would have its all little... That's a little complex. That's a little much, but it's something. It's an idea. That's the thing. That's the whole point, is that it's an idea. It is an idea. Is it good? I don't know. But it's an idea. So we got that one. Let's do another one. Like... Oh, I didn't put the fucking poles on it. Do that one. And then that one. And then the other one would be through the glass at this angle. And I don't want to draw that because that's too complicated. You can infer from the two and the way that they're placed that there's three. Because this one will be slightly in front of the glass, and that one is clearly off to the side. Therefore, the third one is here. I'll put the indications of it, but I won't put through the glass because that's too complicated for a 1-inch pin design. These motherfuckers tiny. I will reiterate once again. The pins that these are for, minuscule. Absolutely minuscule. Okay. Another one for this one. Let's go with maybe like... maybe we can bring back in, no. Maybe if we put like well, it's hard to capture dimension in a design like this that has these constraints to it. Whoopsie, I bonked the mic. Sorry. You probably heard that. This mic is cranked. It is cranked up. I haven't been keeping an eye on my levels at all because remember, I have a single. This is my laptop. This is my laptop. Oopsie. We just went dark. But yeah, this is my laptop. And I'm managing stream on my phone. And I cannot look at OBS and draw at the same time. So, are my audio levels fine? Who knows? Probably. I'm gonna move. This is in the way. It's funny, but it's in the way. So, go here. I think I will make that one just as is because it keeps making me laugh. So I don't think I'll sell those. I think I'll just make those because I think that's funny. If people like them, then maybe I will, but on their own, no. That's for me. Okay. Maybe we can just go with maybe sort of the similar thing where we've got the poles. Again, I really don't know how to work on this scale, this baby scale, the baby ass scale. So I'm kind of flying blind in terms of what I'm actually able to include as viable ideas. So there's that. That's kind of why this is going so slow, because I have to think. Well, see, the problem is I don't have to think, but I want to think. I want to think in terms of what's actually going to work. I don't want to shoot for the stars and fall back down. So I'm trying, because that's part of the fun, or the process of brainstorming and concepting is thinking within your parameters. Like there's a point where you think, what's every possibility that I could do, but that's just too much, frankly. That's too much thinking. That's too many different ideas that you could do, right? So if you know your parameters and you include those in your thought process, then suddenly that's a whole lot less shit you have to work through. Like, I could come up with, every hourglass design in the world. But if I have to sit here and know that it's going to be on a 1-inch pin no matter what it is, then I can, narrow my process down to only hourglass designs that could feasibly fit on a 1-inch pin. Which makes it a lot easier. Plus, it could lead to some more, creative solutions about, well, could I make this fit on a 1-inch pin? That kind of thing. This is sort of, again, that's a little much. I think this would be mostly denoted with tone. Like, I think what this would be is, I would have this one on a dark background, and then this crack would be white, and I think the sand would be gray. Because it is kind of tangenting with the with this. But this would be all, there would be no lines, so it wouldn't really be tangenting with lines. It would just be shapes. So yeah, that's something. I'll keep that. We're gonna call this generic. Did I spell that right? I did not. I missed the E. Alright. That's generic, yes. This one. This is the thumbnail. These are the sketches. I only do this for the ones that I take seriously, so I don't waste my time. I'm gonna move that over there, because this one, I think the design is interesting, but the sketch kind of looks like shit. In terms of, line quality and whatever. Oh, I wonder. No, that would be better utilized by a different hourglass design, I think. Like this one. This one could be suited to that. This one, don't think about this yet. You're not doing that yet. Shut the fuck up. Okay. I'm a little quieter today because, I actually did stuff and I talked more today. Plus, it's hard to. This isn't busy work. The thing with rendering is that it doesn't take a lot of my brain power. So I can kind of just yammer the whole time I do it, but this requires a lot more thinking on my part. So I can't talk as well. I don't have the practice doing that. It takes a lot more brain power to do this. But, I wanted to stream, so that's that. I could go like well, what can I do? I think this design is limited. I think we'll come back to it. We'll come back to this one. And I'll move these up over here. And we'll shrink them down so we have more space. No, we'll make them that size. And I think I'll leave them on though. I'll just close the folder. This one, I think this one deserves to be a sticker. I think because I don't know that this. Well, no, because there's a way that this design could be. I'm not going to iterate on this one because I think it's kind of fine as is, but there is a way that this one could work on a 1-inch, but I'd prefer I didn't have to make it work in a 1-inch. But I'll keep it over here. This is also something. This one. So my thought for this one was that I could just turn it into a pattern. Come up with a way to make it more clearly an hourglass and then make it a pattern that repeats, like so. And then for these reversed ones, then the pile of the sand would be at the bottom, like that. Hmm. Yeah, I think there's. Yeah, this also has legs, I feel. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep that. Alright. Pattern. Trapped. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. That's solid. That's a solid first page of thinking, I believe. And then for some of these, we can kind of take them and see what we want to do with them. Like, let me fix this shit, this garbage. Okay. I am not immune to the urge to make my sketch pages look nice. I think this is solid stuff. Again, as I've said many times, not remotely original, but solid, you know? But, I mean, that's what this idea is. That's what this phase is for. This is the ideas phase. Throw it at the wall, see what sticks, you know, whatever. Okay, so these are what we're working with. I think I'm gonna let's go new. We want base 50%. Y2, Y3, YD. No, base. Resolution 350. Illustration. No. Oh, I guess you can't see that. Making a new document for the daddy issues design. So we're going to take this whole folder. We are going to, hello, copy that, paste that. Again, my keyboard is all the way across this. It's on the other end of this table that I've got my mic set up on, and I really don't like reaching over there to type on it. So a lot of the times I'm simply choosing not to use any of my keyboard shortcuts, which is a little annoying, but my tablet's got buttons on it, so I can use the buttons for some of that, but, you know, there's only so many buttons. Like, any control shortcuts I can't do on my tablet. I have to use my keyboard because I ran out of buttons to put control on there. So I've got alt and shift but no control, and that's mostly because if I'm drawing, then my control shortcuts can all be done like on the screen or whatever, but then I also use ZBrush, and ZBrush makes extensive use of the Alt and Shift shortcuts and not very prominent use of control shortcuts. So, like Maya uses a lot of control shortcuts, but I don't use my tablet when I'm using Maya because it's a very keyboard and mouse type software, you know? But ZBrush that's an art program first and foremost. The sculpting is all done with your pen. You have to draw in 3D is what ZBrush is. So I prioritized those shortcuts on my tablet because ZBrush controls, if you've never used ZBrush, then you can't imagine how fucking annoying the ZBrush controls are. You just have no idea. Like, every single 3D program uses basically the same set of controls in the same ways, except for ZBrush. Like, nobody else uses their controls the same way that ZBrush does in the 3D software space. So it's like, okay, well, fuck you too then, I guess. Alright, so I think for this we can have some interesting interplay between foreground and background, where these accents in the foreground can be denoted entirely in black and white. Yeah, I think this one works really well in black and white, I think. So if we do this, and then we now select this, and then well, no, that doesn't make much sense. I think we've got to push it out to the sides a little more, and then we can, yeah. Sort of sculpt this into whatever shape we want, and I do want it to be a little bit lopsided there in the thing, because that's how the sand is. That's how sand is when it's in an hourglasses. It's really random. So then for this, then we can boost the prominence of these things for, legibility's sake. And then for the glass itself, what do we want to do? I think I want to really thicken up the outside layer. I think this would just have as a triangle. And then this is going to be thick as hell and dark and prominent and bold, etc. Let's see, turn off the sketch. That's pretty good, That's pretty good. I'll move the text to its own layer in a minute. I just got it. And then do the same thing down here, where these are. I do want to have that one intersect with the sand. Does that create any readability issues? I don't think so. Okay. Well, I don't need this. Go away. Sorry about that squeak. That was probably not pleasant. That's fine. So then what we can do is we can take this and we can move it back. Move it to its own thing. And then we can take these and move them to their own thing. And then get rid of them. Ah! Uh-oh. What happened? What did I do? Oh. That's what I did. I thought I separated that. I guess I didn't. There we go. I did a bad job. Okay. Now, just get rid of that, because I could do better. But then for these, we're going to turn these into the sketch layer. And then we're going to grab our favorite Ciro pen. Dude, I love the Ciro pen. We're going to jack up the size. Well, do I want to do the Ciro? Because I think the texture of this would really be improved with something like my jade pen here. Yeah, baby. Have some, maybe, random seeming line weights to sort of give that hand-drawn feel. And then we can go back in with more purpose and add line weight. Oh, I should use this jade pen more often. Why don't I? Why don't I use this jade pen? It's so nice. Okay. I need to put all these in a layer. Folder. Fucking whatever. 20. Okay. Whoopsie. That should have done that earlier. Oh well. We live and we learn. We live and we learn is what we say about that. Let's see. That's a little better. I think I like this shape of this lower one a little more than the shape of the top one. Oh. Wrong tool. Jade pen, please. Thank you. Yeah, that is fucked up. Okay. I always forget how narrow. Wait, why am I bothering? Hold on a minute. No, I'm bothering because it will look better. That's why. I was gonna say, why am I bothering to draw both halves individually when I could just copy paste one half to the other side? Well, because I want to, and because it will look better in the long run, because of the imperfections that each side will have independent of the other. However, it does make it more annoying for me here in the present. Alright, and then I think we can start doing this on purpose here. Because having those thick corners looks nice. I like that. Because that's where sort of the glass is going to be thicker, right? Or it's going to sort of layer up on itself, is on those corners. So then those wide corners are going to have the most emphasis, and then maybe these will have some, you know, internal thickness, right? Where they where they meet with these lines here. And sort of the same thing on the bottom. Do I want to add those? No, I'm gonna skip those details. That's too much. Well, no, because I guess the more details I add on a small scale, then the more details I can have, period, right? Because I mean, I want more detail is what I want. I'm just struggling with where to put the detail when I have such a small, I guess, canvas to work with. I think people's eyes are better than I give them credit for. But my perspective is skewed because my eyes are bad. I've known people with worse eyes, but recently I was with family, and a lot of my family's got, perfect eyesight or used to, and my eyes have always been bad. So I forget what the baseline for bad eyes is, and I forget how far above it I am in terms of how bad my eyes are, because they're bad. But again, it doesn't sound bad if I tell you how much without you being a person who wears glasses. But my prescription is +5, if you're wondering. Ghosts, if the ghosts were wondering. And they weren't, because they know all my secrets already. But if they were, now they know. Okay, I like that. That's solid. That's solid. And then the sand. Yeah. Add some of those little imperfections on the bottom there. Make it look a little more real. And this sand can get right up to the edge there. Now, this is so much easier with the jade pen. Okay, and then just fill these in. Do a little bit of edge maintenance, because I didn't want to bother with the aliasing or whatever. Yeah. And then go back here. And do this thing again. And then we can, make these edges imperfect again. And then I think since we've got this whole thing to work with, I can take... No, do not apply transformation. I can take this, and I can crank it. There we go. Oh, I forgot I flipped it. Alright, yeah, it's close enough. All right. I guess we'll just tilt it a little bit. Like that. Because remember, we want the imperfections. We do. Yeah, and then We'll put up a circle guide. Let's see. The one thing that I wish was easier to do in Clipstool is what? Huh? What did I just say? The one thing I wish was easier to do in Clip Studio is text along a line. Like Photoshop and Illustrator, which I both have used, both have a tool where you can draw a line and then fit text to that line. It makes doing texts in a shape about 1 billion times easier. You can't really do that in a convenient way on Clip Studio, unfortunately. What text do we want? Let's do impact. That's funny. That's really funny, actually. Okay. You can't see what that says because it's white, but okay. Let's stretch the horizontal ratio a little bit. Let's put it at maybe 130. Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah. And then same thing down here. I don't think I did that right. Oh, I did. Okay, it just didn't. The font looked different. 130. And then I didn't change the size of the font, did I? No, I didn't. Alright. So, we have daddy issues on 107.9 or 109.7. That's different. 109.7. Well, no, I'll just change this one to be okay. Oops. 110. Okay. Yeah. And then so what I can do is I can take each of these individually and I can like warp them to a shape, but it warps the text too. So I can see yeah, so I have to rasterize them if I want to. Okay, well, let's do it. Rasterize, merge selected, filter, curved surface, angle, less severe. What's the no, I didn't want that. I didn't want it to look like that. Okay. Let's see. What are these different ones here? We can pinch. Oh, that's kind of funny. It doesn't match the does not match the curve of the pin, but that's kind of funny on its own. We're not going to do that, though. Okay. Let's see. My options are... You can't see my options, but they are curved surface, fisheye lens, pinch, polar coordinates, ripple, twirl, wave, or zigzag. So I think curved surface is probably my best bet. I just have to make it work right, because this is annoying to... Cylinder? What's the difference between... No, I want sphere. Radius. Increase the radius of the sphere. And why is it not... I want it to be in the middle. In the middle of the thing. And it's not. It's not applying equally to both halves of the thing. Well, what's my shape? My shape is not centered, that's why. So the shape is a circle. A real ass circle. The angle. What's the angle? Does that change how the text looks? It shouldn't, because it's a sphere. But it could, I suppose. Angle 0. Let me make the angle 0, please. Thank you. Angle 0. Strength is really what we want to be playing with here. I wish it didn't fuck with this text down here so bad. I think we need to move this up a little bit. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move it up. We're gonna move that up a little bit. And then we're gonna move this down a little bit. Because I don't think these are centered either. I just don't. Let me flip again. They're mostly centered. Again, I'm not aiming for perfect here. I'm aiming for this is stupid, but I want to do it. No, I don't want blur. What's the fisheye lens? That kind of works a little more, doesn't it? Distortion. Why is it? Oh, it's because the thing isn't centered. That's why. I want a little more distortion than that, I think. It's at 50 right now, so I'm going to put it up to 55. That shouldn't affect it much, but it should be, I don't know, legible. Alright, I think that's, I'm going to leave that there. That's fine. And then we're going to move it down. Again, this whole thing is on a slight lean, but I just have to be fine with that. You know. It's not like it's serious or anything. Doing a little dance. Okay, stop. I do want to try, though, is the thing. I want to have it be mostly centered, like, for real, for real. Oh yeah, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of how stupid this is. Okay. And nobody else is gonna know what this means, is the best part. Nobody else is gonna know why the hourglass. But it's funny to me, so that's what matters. I could do this as a sticker too. Okay, actually, this is super funny. Okay. Yeah, I'm saving that. Okay. Now, back to this. Alright, so we'll turn off daddy issues because we've done something with that. Let's take this one here. Let's do something with this. Or do I... Man, I don't know. I might be tired of doing this. I'm a little tired of doing this, but I'm gonna make that one smaller. Yeah. Alright, I think I'm good. I'm good to stop. I'm good to stop there with this. Alright. Well, it's been a good one. Got a lot done. That's good. I didn't think I would get so much done, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I've got some more brainstorming stuff. I didn't expect to finish any design at all today, so that's good. Happy that got through. Okay. Well, hunt you later.